Okay, I brought all these sheets. I don't know if you need or want all these sheets, though.
Are they different than what you already submitted?
No. The only thing that's added to them is the full-time job description. And I don't know if you have that paper.
The packet you already turned in, everybody should have, so the narratives.
Does it, I have the narratives and
We
then-
have
So
that.
the budget
We have
prep
it
we
here.
have.
Do you have, okay, and you have this one too?
Do
you want this?
Just not the job description.
Do you want a copy of this as well?
Got 'em.
I've got
At
it.
least.
At least you can read it later. How about that?
Did you keep one?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and announce yourself on the mic and
Give this one to Nancy. Sheriff's
Evie McCurry with misdemeanor probation and pretrial.
go ahead and go through your budget. Those things that you're asking, requesting more funds, or those things that you're saying I don't need as much.
Okay. So in the A budget, I am requesting a part-time position, which is the administrative assistant to the director position, to be replaced by a full-time like an office manager or statistical recorder position. I don't know if you'll remember, but in going through the last conversation we had about this, so the part-time position that we have now is not serving the needs of the department like it once was. We don't have some of the share program. We don't have the drug court that we carry through our office anymore, and we're starting to implement some really big things in the department that's going to require a lot more clerical work, specifically statistical data gathering. We're going to collect this for grants. I've already received a couple of they're not really necessarily considered grants, but they are some funds to cover a lot of this new programming that we are doing at probation. And I've talked to Commissioner Huff knows about it quite a bit with our PSA. We're about 120 days out of a full launch. It's going to increase dramatically our hopes. People on pretrial services. It's going to hopefully safely lower the jail population, but those people are then going to be coming to us. And so there's going to be a lot more work that we're going to have to do as far as communication with the courts, recording all of the information that we want to do to become verified and using this public safety assessment. Once those things are even put into place, I actually, in the job description that I've given you, I got a lot of the information off of the office manager from juvenile probation. So once these things get rolling, I would really like to see that position become involved in helping the department run smoother for the probation officers as our numbers go up, and for the pretrial officers as well. Keeping track of, now we're bringing in-house training. I've got 2 probation officers that are trained to do post-certified to keep us and our certifications going. We're going to be audited every year on those records, so having someone also maintain all of our training records, keeping those things in order for post-certification statuses and those kinds of things. So I have my part-time assistant right now helping me do a lot of these things. There's just not enough hours that she has available, and I'm getting a little nervous about the future with PSA launching and how much our clientele is going to increase with launching this program. So that's the big one in my A budget.
Real quick, couple questions. So if you get the full-time position, you don't need the part-time.
Correct.
And then, so you said that you're going to be keeping stats and you'll be able to receive additional revenue?
I'm hoping so. So by how the public safety assessment works is that a lot of if we can show the need for it in our community, which we do have, then we can end up applying for those grants based on that data. So we have to be able to produce those numbers in order to apply for what is available through the PSA. So potentially it could. I can't say 100% that's going to happen, but potentially it very well could. And I did go through, just prior to our meeting, this job description with HR.
What, are these just no strings grants? Are these gonna be?
I'm hoping to apply for everything that I can. So there's a bunch of different options. A lot are through the Idaho Department of Corrections.
Okay, I'm just trying to think of, I'm trying to think of like D6. They do billings. It's not gonna be like that.
No, no,
Okay.
no, no,
Okay.
no, no. Don't scare me either. So that would be the only change in my A budget. Going on with B budget, there's really not a whole lot of change. I did cut down the office supplies a little bit. Everything's pretty well the same. I did speak with IT. We don't have any computers that are needed. The only bill that came up in fiscal year 22 that I incorporated into this that was unexpected was an internet bill for $1,000 that Adam had decided each department was going to pay. So I did put that in with operating supplies, so I did include that, so that's what made that go up. My lease agreements have all stayed the same, no changes there. Our education, I'm able to cut that down as well as our travel, because a lot of our trainings, with the exception of post, are being done and offered online, and a lot of the webinars are, a lot of the conferences are, and so I don't see that really being something that we would need as much of, because that's always been kind of a larger line item in the past. My POs don't travel as much, especially with this budget year. We were able to get the certifications and pay for those through post. And so now by bringing that training in-house, we'll be saving quite a bit on traveling for training and going to Meridian. So not a whole lot. I am happy to say that this year we were also able to get all of our probation officers with equipment that they did not purchase themselves, and they're all uniform. So everything's the same, our duty belts are the same, our holsters are the same, our cuff cases are the same. For many years we've paid for them out of pocket, and they were all different, which kind of worries me with liability things, especially when you're talking about certain retention holsters. Somebody has one better than the other. We were able to complete that too, so.
So you bring that up. What about their certification on firearms?
So our certification on firearms is done through the sheriff's office every year. It's done yearly. The only thing that we have to pay for is our ammunition, and we can schedule that with the sheriff's office. I do have one probation officer, my senior probation officer has been certified in high-risk liability training through post. So all he has to do now is run through the course with our sheriff's department for them to sign off of, where we would have qualifications. Then we would be able to have RPO instruct for even the sheriff's office to be able to coordinate that with them.
Okay.
Quick question, District Court overt?
I don't know what that is. Remember, that was the one that I talked to you about, that was the something with the alumni or something that I had never used.
Just real quick, is you're talking about 1 year or a yearly certification?
Uh-huh.
Do you have budget in there for range time and training ammunition for fanfare?
I do for ammunition. I don't have to do anything budget-wise for range time.
Okay, but you have that planned in that you're going to
Yes,
go
that's
at least
included.
once to have a familiarization, training fire, and then have a qualification?
Yes, so I went through all of our inventory and what we have and then calculated with price what we would need for this year. So
Okay.
we won't have anything, I tried to, the cost of ammunition, as you know, is crazy and getting it is crazy. And so I wanted to make sure that we had exactly what we needed, not going
Okay.
over what we need.
And then you have a place to store it, not in the office building, please?
We have, so when we moved over to this, after you and I had our conversation, it's being stored with the sheriff's department.
Okay, good. Just because for hazard purposes, I
Yeah,
don't
we do
want
not
that
have
in there.
any ammunition in office except for what they carry.
Okay. Well, that's good, because then if there's a fire, the fire department. will know.
Exactly.
If the fire department knows you have ammo and you're supposed to have placards indicating,
Yeah.
they will not enter the building if it's on
So
fire.
after you and I talked about that, we moved everything with them and they were good about it.
No,
So
that's good.
We've
Okay,
just got it separate where we can get our own inventory list and
Good.
it's great.
okay. Okay.
I'm good.
Yep, I'm good.
I'm good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
There we go. Prosecutors, no, public defenders. As of today.